I'm gonna create a comic page from scratch. Not a single illustration, not a finished image right away, but a full page built piece by piece. Where every panel matters and every decision carries weight. This project came from a feeling I've been having lately. The way ideas change depending on when you make them. How some projects feel light while others feel heavy, shaped by timing as much as intention. For this one, I decided to make a Batman comic page. A quiet story focused more on moments than on action. A page about routine, time, and the people behind the mask. Hey, I'm Lucas, and welcome to Artist Dilemmas. Every year, near the end of December, I end up doing something very specific. No matter how busy things get or how tired I am, I try to make my last drawing of the year a Batman drawing. It wasn't planned or designed to be a ritual, it just happened. And at some point, I realized it had to become a tradition. But tradition for me doesn't mean repetition. Every year I try to turn this Batman drawing into a new challenge, a new format, a new idea, something that pushes me a little further than the year before. When I look back at the versions I made in previous years, they feel like markers, like visual checkpoints, not just on my style, but where I was creatively and mentally at the end of each year. This time, it took me some time to know what I was going to make this year. I knew I wanted to make something different. I thought about many things, a book cover, a card collection, and art with a different approach. In this moment, that's when I thought, I can make a comic page. I knew I didn't want to make a single image. I wanted to make something that could hold time inside it, something that could feel like moments passing instead of just one moment frozen. When I started thinking about references, I kept coming back to Batman Black and White. I chose it mainly because of its narrative structure. The entire series is built around short stories, each one focused on a specific idea and told with a clear sense of limitation. The format became a starting point for me. It helped me think about how to tell a complete story in a small space without relying on scale or excess. From there, I took that structure and pushed it in a different direction. Instead of telling an epic story, I wanted to explore something closer to a slice of life. The idea was to show a portion of Batman's life during the last days of the year. Not just a turning point, not a conclusion, just a quiet stretch of routine and reflection. So Batman Black and White gave me the framework to think in short form, and within that framework, I chose to tell a more contemplative story, one built around moments rather than action. A comic page isn't just about drawing, it's about rhythm, pacing, and what happens between panels, just as much as what happens inside them. And that felt like the right language for this project. The concept slowly started to take shape as I decided to tell a small story of Batman during the last days of the year. Nothing epic or world-ending, just fragments of his life spread across a few days, with each panel representing a day from December 24th to January 1st. That idea naturally led me to a 9-panel structure. I've always loved 9-panel grids in the comics because they're controlled, restrained, almost rigid. Pages like the one in Watchmen show how powerful structure can be when it comes to storytelling. But beyond that reference, the grid made sense conceptually because it looks like a calendar, a collection of squares, each one holding a specific moment in time. Using this structure forced me to slow everything down, to let each panel exist on its own without rushing to the next one. And for a story about routine, endurance, and reflection, the restraint became one of the strongest parts of the page. Another big challenge in this project was the decision to work with colored papers in collage. Instead of drawing everything on a single surface, each panel became a separate physical piece, something I had to place, outline, and commit to. Honestly, that part was complicated. Working with multiple papers at once changes the way you think, because you can't rely on easy fixes, and once something is glued down, it becomes part of the page for good. But that limitation ended up helping the storytelling, making every panel feel intentional, like each moment was chosen rather than just drawn. When it came to the story itself, I didn't want to show a lot of the city. I wanted to stay close to the characters, to faces, gestures, and small interactions. Batman's there, crime is there, and the weight of that life is always present. But the focus is affection, quiet moments with Alfred, time shared with Nightwing, small signs that even in a life shaped by crime fighting, there's care, responsibility, and connection. Writing the narration was one of the most important parts of this project. I approached it as if Bruce was writing for himself, not explaining anything to the reader or justifying his choices, but simply acknowledging what this life feels like. The process taught me a lot about storytelling, especially about restraint, and how much emotion you can communicate without showing everything. Sometimes a close-up or a pause says more than a full scene ever could. As I worked on this page, the meaning of the project became clearer. This wasn't just another Batman dream. It was about marking time, reaching the end of a cycle, and taking a moment to look at where I am before moving forward. Trying something new is always uncomfortable, but it's also where learning happens. This page pushed me to think more carefully about pacing, composition, and emotional clarity, which is probably the best result I could ask for from a final drawing of the year. Because in the end, this tradition isn't really about Batman, and it's not just about drawing, it's about closing the chapter by challenging myself one last time and starting the next one knowing I didn't stand still.
Christmas Eve. The city pretends to slow it down, but crime doesn't believe in holidays. In the middle of all this noise, there are still moments of silence. Alfred doesn't ask how the night went. He already knows. Curtains always need words. Most nights blur together. Different faces, same mistakes. I move instinctively, doing what needs to be done before the scene remembers how broken it can be. The mask comes off at the end of the night, but the weight doesn't. Never wanted this life for him. I want him to stay far from the shadows I live in, but I know what it's like to face them alone, and I couldn't let him do that. Pain becomes a routine, bruises fade, cuts heal, but the body remembers every fall. Some people stay, even when they shouldn't have to. They carry the weight with you, not because they are forced to, but because they choose to. The city celebrates another year survived. Lights fill the sky, laughter echoes below, and for a moment, everything feels almost peaceful. The city will keep fighting its channel, and so will I.
So, this was my last drawing of the year, a Batman comic page and a quiet reflection on time, routine, and endurance. If you stayed until the end, thank you. And if you're an artist watching this, maybe this is your sign to create your own tradition, something that helps you look back and move forward at the same time. See you next time. Peace.